Welcome to the Rusted Garden. This is my greenhouse. I shot a lot of videos on how I manage this greenhouse through September, October, November. It's now December 26th and the plants are doing quite well. I'm very happy about that. I've been eating a lot of salads right out of the greenhouse. But now it's December and it really starts getting cold in our area, Maryland Zone 7, where the nights and days can be in the 20s. It's mostly been, luckily, 30 degrees or warmer during the day. In fact, about a week ago it got up to 60 degrees and this greenhouse actually got up to 94 degrees. So part of my learning process is, well, what am I going to do come really December, January, and February when the temperatures get really cold? One of the weaknesses to this greenhouse is the bottom. And I don't know if you can see, hopefully way down in that corner you can see a gap and cold air comes in through there, and all the way around the seal just isn't tight. Back there you can see, another gap, and there's a thin gap there. You can see the wood from the deck. Well, when the wind blows, the bottoms open up and the air just whips through from the outside through the bottom of the greenhouse and out the other side, and that will draw all the warm air out that's stored in here. And how do I know this? During the day, just to say it's been 30-40 degrees, the greenhouse will get up to 70s. When there's no wind, the temperature will slowly drop. I have a thermometer inside and I can watch it, and the thermometer will slowly come down in temperature, and up until like 10 o'clock at night it'll still stay above 32 degrees when there's no wind. When there is a wind, as soon as it gets dark, whatever the outside temperature is, the wind blows under the greenhouse and the outside temperature quickly becomes what the inside temperature is, and I can see that by the thermometer. So what I want to do is I want to keep the wind from whipping into the bottom of the greenhouse. Originally I was kind of experimenting, but these plants are still growing. They're healthy. I'm eating out of here. I don't want to take this down and just put it back up in the spring. I want to see if I can get these lettuces really through January and February now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal the bottom of the greenhouse. What didn't work was, putting down the wood down there. You can see a little piece that works a little bit, but if it's windy enough, the flaps just come up and they come through. So I'm actually going to get saran wrap and wrap the bottom of the greenhouse, just to, one, press the greenhouse plastic against the pipes and the tubing that are inside, and two, just to seal the bottom a little bit more. And I think that will help me get the greenhouse or get the plants in the greenhouse through January. And I do have to, as of December, I'm using a 1200 watt heater, which I don't like to keep on a lot because it does cost money. I figured it out. If I run it about 10 hours, it costs about $2. I don't want to do that every day because it's, I probably eat more than the cost of the electricity, but I really want to try and get this just to work with nature without having to put in any electricity. But I do use this 1200 watt greenhouse heater when the nights get down into the 20s, and the goal is just to keep this above freezing, and that size heater really does the trick. Let me wrap this with saran wrap, show you what I did. So here's one of the main problems with using a greenhouse in the winter. The bottom just easily comes up. So like I was saying, the wind whips through here, sucks all the warmth out of the greenhouse when it's windy. So what I'm going to do is put that saran wrap around here, and hopefully what the saran wrap does is it's just going to tighten this against here and keep it just a little bit more sealed. This so is that the front of the greenhouse, and you're not going to really do a whole lot with the saran wrap in the front because you have to come in and out of it. But I wanted to show you how we start. Start by tying the end of the saran wrap to the inside post by one of the zippers, and then you just take it all the way around the greenhouse, trying to keep it as low as you can to the bottom. And again, that's to press the plastic in the corners down to keep the wind from going through. And when you finish, this was actually 4 or 5 wraps with the saran wrap. Each wrap that you do, you'll get a little bit tighter because it's going to cling onto itself. So you want 4 or 5 wraps, and then you bring the end down to the front of your greenhouse, again where the door is, and then tie it off there. Let me show you some of the corners and what I did to try and fix the problem. Now the saran wrap only cost $2 or $3, so it's not a lot of money just to strengthen up the bottom of your greenhouse. And this is what a corner looks like now with the plastic. The plastic presses everything against here. The flap still can come up, but not nearly as much as it was. The whole gap that was in here is gone. And these flaps should stay out now. They're not going to get blown under here. And now that they're hanging out, I just used some wood that I had in my garage. This is another piece of scrapable wood, and I can really drop it onto the flaps, and you can see that the plastic is going to blow against here when the wind comes, and it's just going to help keep this whole thing from coming up. And when you come around this side, this is where the other big gap was, and you can see that seal down there. Now this isn't perfect, but it's a lot better than it was, and it should help keep my greenhouse warmer through the night when the wind is blowing. And hopefully, again, here's the inside of the greenhouse, and you can see the corner I showed originally. You can see that it's better sealed with the saran wrap. The saran wrap does press the plastic into the corner against the post, so it really does help with the gap. So the saran wrap, 4 or 5 wraps, putting the wood back up after that should really reduce the amount of wind that blows into the greenhouse, and hopefully it keeps it warmer here, and I can keep all these lettuces growing through January. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out my blog at www.therustedgarden.blogspot.com, and also check out my other YouTube videos. Thanks.